Hey, Husky fans, welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Inches, a Husky podcast. I am your host tonight, UW Leah. I am joined by the ball coach, Coach V. Trevor was right, but I'm putting a question mark in there. Trevor Mueller. And yep, you're right, Jakey. You did dunk on Trevor. I'm going to start this out by shouting out my buddy Jerry, who, by the way, is only ones in my life that actually listens to every podcast except for my dad and gives me really nice notes. And he said, great podcast. Jake was right. That's the first thing he said to me at the ball game. So, um,
I'm not gonna rub it in. I already rubbed it in off the air, so I'm gonna humbly take this win.
But then you came in and lied. You never dunked on me. And we've already talked about this on the recorded line so many freaking times.
Leah already said I did it, so it
I know,
must be
but
true. So,
Leah wasn't there.
Hey, don't worry.
I don't know if Leah existed yet. It was 20 years ago and it didn't happen.
Don't worry. I got my victory hair going. So
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. Congratulations on the new gig as an Elvis impersonator. That's awesome.
Here we are. Here we are. A hunk of victories.
Okay, so I am
wrong.
right. I am right. My prediction was closest, so
Yeah.
feel good about that
by a lot.
by a lot.
You
And just
could've added
1
your-
point better than Hooligans as well. Shout out Hooligans.
Did we cover?
You could have added your prediction and Leah's and almost still won.
It's
That was
true.
close.
It's true. To quote our good buddy Tony Castricone, the Huskies put up points that are usually reserved for events at Autzen Stadium. So shout out to Tony Castricone. He was absolutely on one in the waning moments of the radio broadcast as I was driving home. So yeah, a lovely get the stink out of your mouth for whatever ills we saw against Colorado State that we were just had some question marks about. It really seemed to largely get recovered this past Saturday by the count of 70-10. It looked good in many, many ways. Jonah Coleman continues to just not be human. What were your guys' overall takes?
He's decent.
He's okay.
He's okay. Yeah, he's got otherworldly balance, and now he's got an offensive line that'll block for him. So, I mean, they showed quite a bit of restraint, not unleashing him more. But, I mean, that was one of those, like, this is like Corey Dillon against San Jose State. Eventually, you just call the dogs off, and, Corey only played that one quarter. But, he's just a dude. He's an NFL running back. He's a very special player. So the fact that, he did what he did, it's not surprising.
10 rushing touchdowns all of last season, 7 after 2 games, 5 against UC Davis, albeit UC Davis, but 5 rushing touchdowns against anybody is an immaculate feat by any standard. And he just looked, when you looked across the sideline and you saw the Husky players, and specifically Jonah Coleman, who makes big, strong men look small, and then you looked across the other sideline and saw the UC Davis guys that were just tiny in comparison, you knew he was going to have a good day. That guy's an absolute tank. He's a monster. His vision is incredible. His ability to maneuver through tiny little holes is incredible, and then to finish runs off with trucking over guys. To be a dude, Jonah. Be a dude.
The head coach at halftime talked to Alyssa Charleston and was basically said, like, Jonah Coleman's really big and hard to tackle, but we have to try to figure out ways to put him on the ground. And the coolest part of his night, getting the 5 touchdowns over 100 yards, he did it in 15 carries, so, like, not a lot of tread off the tires on that. So, like, and now he's starting, at least I saw one on Twitter where he's starting to creep up into the Heisman conversation. Now, it's very early. We've played a group of 5 school. We've played an FCS school. We're on a bye, and then we have a group of 5-ish school. So, like, his coming out party where he's going to have to make his name known, for this season in a push to possibly get a Heisman or an Offensive Player of the Year award is going to have to be against Ohio State. But racking up these yards early, racking up the touchdowns, just helping that resume as things get tighter, and maybe he only gets 2 touchdowns against Ohio State. I don't know.
I mean, Al Bundy had 4 touchdowns in a game for Polk High back in the day. So, I mean, that was like when my childhood, that's like the pinnacle of what you want to get to as a football player. Al Bundy's 4 touchdowns. So, to get 5 and then not really play in the second half, I mean, could he have had 10? Maybe. Could he have had 20? I'm not going to put it past him. But I think the bottom line is just to show restraint and not rub it in. I mean, another Big Ten Player of the Week honor.
2 for 2.
That's pretty good. Let's do it again.
Do you think you can get it week 3? I think they just give it to him anyway.
It's Jonah Coleman. Don't put it past him.
The real test would be if he gets it on week 5.
Yeah, what an effort.
Absolutely. So feeling pretty high after that one. I mean, obviously it was UC Davis and we were supposed to win, but winning, covering, and looking really good doing so are really good things to come in after this game.
And another thing about why I was right,
Yeah.
I said, what did we want to see most coming out of this game against this FCS opponent? And I said Kai Horton, and man, did he show out. 50 yards through the air, 21 on the ground with a touchdown. I just can't stop being right, and Jake still just makes layups.
So it's so true. All I do is just make layups.
Slap the glass.
I was sitting there with my wife in the third quarter, and at that point it was, 53 to 0? No, 53 to 10? 54 to 10? I don't know what it was. And I said, I'd like to see 70. And she kind of laughed at me and was like, not a chance. And I was like, that's only 14 more points. So it was 54 to nothing. 56 to nothing. Holy cow, I'm good at math. 56 to nothing. We needed 14 more. And then she kind of realized, like, yeah, that's only 2 more touchdowns, albeit the backups were in. And then they proceeded to do exactly what the starters did and kept the trend of scoring touchdowns on every drive throughout the game. And that in itself is an incredible feat. Not to have to punt one time,
Absolutely.
on every possession that you have, not just field goals, but a touchdown on every possession. That was one of the most well-rounded offensive games I've ever seen as a fan.
It was really delicious.
Show of hands, anybody who's seen Washington score 70 points in a game?
Like in person?
Mine was in Oregon.
Yeah, Trevor wins that one.
Yeah, that was a fun
It's
one.
just basically Trevor
70
again.
points is exhausting to cheer for. And especially at night, you guys, way to put in the effort. Mine was in the middle of the afternoon.
How about the big board sign, Leah? Were you there?
So we ran out of fireworks?
Yeah, sorry, we ran out of
Hilarious.
fireworks. Oh,
Absolutely
my God.
amazing. I
Oh,
mean,
You know what? That's when you got to get the NIL budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rookie numbers, man.
It was about
You
that
got to have
time.
enough fireworks for 70 points.
We had an entire row of UC Davis fans sitting right in front of us. And it was about when that sign came up, they were like, all right, we're out of here. Like, we can't take this anymore. I was like, sorry, guys. You guys ran
How
into
cool
it.
was it? Trainer Cleveland and Royce Cleveland got in the game, too. That was pretty cool.
How cool is it that their dad was doing color commentating, too,
Yeah.
for that?
Yep.
yeah,
And-
he was.
Cam was really, he didn't want to accept the moment of it. He kind of just pushed it aside and kind of went on towards just, let's talk about UW football. So, I mean, if I'm their dad, I'm glowing with pride at that moment. And Cam kept it really professional.
That's why
Absolutely.
he's in the booth and we're
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Well, he's also gotten some flack from the powers that be for being a little bit too geeked up on broadcast in big moments, as people do. But I think, because I guess that during the Oregon games in 2023, they were telling him like, "Oh my God, you're being a little bit too much." And it's like, but we love that.
No. Oh, no. He was... It
That's
was
what I-
some
that's
of the
what I had
best
heard.
radio of his tenure.
If
Yeah, 100%.
anybody that says that needs to listen to a Minnesota Vikings football game.
That is so true.
That guy is ridiculous.
Isn't that guy's name Paul Allen?
Paul
Yeah,
Allen.
it is.
That guy is the most extreme announcer that you'll ever hear. And he's the play-by-play guy.
He
And,
is so funny.
and I love it. I think it's
think-
entertaining to listen to.
I think also, of course, our own broadcasters are going to be bias towards Washington, and Cam having put on the purple and gold and coming back to do this job, I think it's a human experience for him to get really excited about big plays and big moments in Husky history.
Look, we have in this sports town, we have very different color commentators. And I think that the fan experience is better when you have a color commentator on the your team's broadcast that should be a fan of your team and analyze, but also have the experience of the joy of what's going on. Like, I even love it when they show like the Tony Castricone making the call and then him like high-fiving the SID guy next to him and
That's
like
my favorite.
kind of like slapping on Cam as he's like, "Can you believe it, kids? Washington, we're going to the national championship." Like, we love that stuff.
Look, Bob Rondo gets just as geeked sometimes as Cam does. You know,
Yes.
when the voice crackles and he turns into like a prepubescent boy
Yeah.
because his throat is
You know,
crackling. I
we
don't
all
want. You know what I don't want. Sorry, Coach. 1 second. What I don't want is somebody that's like, yeah, we're going to the playoffs. Like, yeah, this is great. You know,
See,
like,
what he did there was a hook and lateral,
yeah.
and they scored the touchdown, and now they're going to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
we all
Pasadena,
grew up.
I guess we're
We all
going.
grew up on Rondo, Dave Niehaus, Kevin Calabro, uh, um, Rabel,
Yeah. Yeah. Rabel does it
like,
too.
and then before him, who was the guy before him? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. When I was a kid, Seahawks announcer. Oh my God, but yeah, I mean, we've had a long run of like really passionate play-by-play people, and I don't know, man. Like, if you're a national person, like, be composed. You're allowed to be a little bit of a homer if you're the home broadcast.
Joe Buck.
I mean, yeah, I think that we're all on the same team here as far as like I'm okay with the home announcer absolutely showing some glee and some unabashed enthusiasm for the home team. So let's go back to UC Davis and let's talk about position groups, starting with Demond. How did he do this week, and then compare it to last week? What did we like to see in comparison to what we saw last week?
He was in control. The issue I had last week was the same one I want to talk about this week. Was just, he's so confident in his ability to kind of make something happen that he will hold the ball. And then, like, I'm being hard on him because I know that, he's a really great player and he can do this, but he's still only a sophomore. And, he just scrambles around and he makes these crazy, runs and scrambles and plays and all that. And then you're thinking to yourself, like, well, you probably could have got the ball out right there. And then when the backup came in, when Kai comes in, he was literally hit the back foot and go. Like, he's letting that ball go. Obviously, it's not high stakes. It's backups versus backups. But I mean, the epitome of what the offense should look like was that. So I think Demond's biggest thing right now is like, I said it last week, when the bullets are flying and the game's actually in doubt, are you going to do the right things? Are you going to get rid of the ball and take a 7-yard completion versus trying to score a touchdown on third down and long and or third down and medium and whatever? So I would say last week, what did I give him? Like B minus, like somewhere around there. But I think he was like B plus, and there's still a little bit of room for that A.
So the one thing that looking down the box score, the thing that looking for the UC Davis game that I wanted Demond to work on was not just taking off and working on the throws downfield, working on completions. You look at the box score, Demond doesn't have a single rush, which is, in my opinion, versus UC Davis. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him. I don't see him, Trev. Do you?
He had 8 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, there it is. Yep, you're right. I
How
lied.
much did you have to drink, Jake?
I'm drinking water. I've been,
I meant during the game when you were supposed to be watching this.
no, I was the designated drunk driver.
Don't say that. Oh, come on, man.
This is not a sanctioned comment for this podcast.
Okay.
The views
But
and opinions
regardless,
of Jake Grant are not necessarily the views and
16 to
opinions of
25
Griffin
with
and
254 yards, a touchdown, average of 10 yards a throw with a QBR of 93. I love seeing that out of Demond. work on
No,
those.
he had a great game. Let's see what he does against the Cougs.
It needs to. I think needs to be some time for him. Like, he is an elite athlete and he's an elite playmaker. And I think you're right. Both of you are right in a way that you want to see, especially when you have 3 weeks until the start of the Big Ten schedule. And he has to be able to not only make those big plays when they're available, but he also has to keep this offense in rhythm against a defense like Ohio State, like Illinois, or whoever is on that schedule in the Big Ten that's going to be a better defense that we're going to see in the first 3 games of the season. He's got to be able to balance taking the like think of it like a body shot of a boxer, and then when to throw that knockout. Also, let's get out of bounds a little bit more. Let's slide a little bit. Let's not lower our shoulders on the FCS guys.
Absolutely. I was delighted to see how well he did as an overall picture of the game, but I felt like this isn't necessarily criticism of him, but he had to win a lot of first downs with his legs against an FCS school, and I was a little bit concerned / troubled by that, but I guess all's well that ends well. We won the game, and obviously we more than covered, but I was like, should he be winning that many plays with his legs? I'm not sure.
The
But
fact that he has that ability to, though, is nice, because, there's always something to rely on in case the pocket does break down on him, which you don't have that with a lot of quarterbacks.
He did show it too, where he dropped back, foot in the ground, and threw it. It didn't seem like it was as often as it necessarily could have been. And then he gets into the theatrics and gets outside and breaks off a first down run.
The throw he dropped on Raiden breaking to the corner was an incredibly difficult throw that he made incredibly easy looking. Layering that ball over, there's some guy helping deep, but he's not going to get there. You got to lay it over the underneath coverage, and you got to put it right where your guy can catch it while he's running away from his man. And it was just like, I've seen him do that before, but to do it in a real game at the college level, like, that's just a little hint. That's like a little taste of what's in the chamber, so to speak. So
I had
he's so good.
I had a really good view of that exact play that you just talked about. And before that route broke open, there was an underneath route that broke open before that. And I'm like, holy shit, he's open. Throw it to him. You're going to miss him. And then he didn't. I was like, oh, he overthrew him. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden here comes Raiden. I'm like, that's a nice ball. I mean, it was right on the money where it needed to be. And pretty much on a field level view, I thought that he missed the entire play, and for him to see that breaking open was pretty spectacular.
And to your point there, that is a pre-snap read. He's looking to see where the coverage and the dictates. So if he gets the safety look that he wants, especially if it's like I didn't get to see running back, but if it's like single high, if it's too deep, he's going to underneath crosser or whatever's underneath available to him. But if he sees single high or a zero look or whatever, he knows that he's going to have the room to throw that to the sideline. And even in a case where if you have too high, that corner route becomes more of a flat sail. Like, the receiver knows to break that off his name. But the fact is, he probably knew when he went up to the line of scrimmage what he had, and then he's making a choice. All right, if they give me this, I'm going to go intermediate. If they give me this, I'm going to use that to pull coverage and drop a dime.
And he did.
absolutely. So Damon had a pretty good game, better than last week for sure. And let's move on to running backs. Do we need to talk about this?
Adam Muhammad was really good too.
Yeah,
He was really
that was my
good.
only point. Right?
Adam's best game by far.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows about Jonah. Everybody appreciates Jonah. I think we're all in agreement. Maybe except for Coach. I don't think Coach really appreciates Jonah.
I agree.
But Adam Muhammad, let's give him his due props also. 14 carries,
Pitching the ball out of
95
backfield
yards.
too.
Yeah, I mean, he just runs with tenacity. The guys next to us were UC Davis fans, And they looked at him and they're like, boy, he is a big, strong kid. You know, he's just a physical back, and I love that. Between him
He's
and
like
Jonah, I mean, there's so much physicality.
Adam is the like if you're building a player in NCAA,
Yeah.
that's what your running back looks like.
Yeah.
Like he's just a freak show. The first time I saw him was at spring practice last year when he was just coming in as a true freshman, and I'm standing next to like Roman and Lars and those guys, and I go, "My God!" I just yelled out. I'm like, "My God, he's a freshman. He's not even close to the like his freshman year starting yet. Like, oh my God!" And I never got a chance to watch him because he just he didn't play in our league or whatever. But I mean, every time I watched the highlights, I was like, that seems like a big kid. And then you see him, and I'm like, he was chiseled by the gods. Like, this is crazy. But I thought he showed, we talked about how patient he needs to be in figuring out, like not just running up the backs of his linemen. He had a lot of room to run, but he actually was patient. He actually made some good cuts and some good decisions and showed vision. He showed the whole bag. So that's really encouraging. That's what I want to see. I want to see him continue it in Pullman, and I just want to see him build on it because Jonah is a great player. He needs help. He needs a, Batman needs a Robin.
He's
So
young Jonah Coleman, but taller.
the fact that they split carries evenly too made me really, really happy. Keep Jonah healthy, keep him fresh, and give
He's tired
Adam,
after scoring all those touchdowns.
yeah, give Adam that experience. The only difference between Adam Muhammad as a video game character and the way that Trev builds him, Trevor adds like 18 arm sleeves on his characters. I've seen it. I know you do it. The long sleeve with like 4 Nike bands on it. Yeah, I know who you.
Well,
I
the
know the players that you
Trevor
Call
built.
it the
likes
Casey
flashy.
Williams.
the problem with Jonah and keeping him fresh when he scores all those touchdowns is one thing I know they fail. Every team fails at this when it comes to conditioning. Nobody practices handing the ball to the ref.
So true.
And
And
I
people
mean,
don't talk enough
you could,
about that.
you could get tennis elbow
Yeah.
that many times. Like, I'm just glad he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen, coach.
Unbelievable. So let's move on to the passing game. Wide receiver, tight end. Who stood out to you guys?
Man, hey, a lot of guys got their first receptions. That's pretty awesome.
Good.
Desmond
Um,
Roebuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Desmond Roebuck, at the 40s, it was a 47-yard reception that traveled how many yards through the air, and he
That's
just did the
that's
rest.
that jet pop pass that
Uh-huh.
you throw it about 8 inches and it takes
hmm
off and goes 50 yards and
It's really cool. The thing the big story though out of this is Rashid Williams is probably out for a considerable amount of time.
that's
That was a really nice catch to start the day. It's Coach Fish said it was a collarbone, so my guess those bad boys break pretty easily. So the question is, when are we going to see Amari Evans? The interesting thing is on the broadcast, they talked about that Amari Evans was just beat out by some of the younger guys, which is concerning to me. So, and that was pre-injury. They were talking about that. So the question is, who is going to be the guys that step up? Audric Harris finally got a reception. Chris Lawson got in the game and got a reception. Justice Williams did. Looking at it, Raiden Friend Bright is going to be really important to go on throughout the weeks. Desmond Roebuck, those are two true freshmen. And there's a couple other guys that that I thought were going to be more in the mix that just haven't been because these freshmen are so good.
Fun fact about a collarbone is it's the only horizontal bone in your entire body. Not so fun fact is breaking them is pretty extensive recovery on that, especially for a wide receiver that needs that range of motion in his arms. The one thing, man, Denzel is a punt returner, man. That thing was electric. He made one guy miss, and he was gone.
It was so crazy because I don't know if you had this experience, Jake, but when they announced the name, like I saw it was Denzel, but I was so expecting them to say Dante Pettis.
Right, he kind of even moved like him.
Yeah,
Right?
he did.
Yeah. We were sitting there watching, and I saw him make one guy miss, and I was like, "There's nobody
Fun.
there. There's nobody there to stop him." And he just
As
had
soon
an
as the
open
first
lane.
guy missed, everyone in our section stood up.
Yeah.
Because we knew what we were about to see.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, getting those young guys these reps in this game. I mean, a lot of these guys are still going to redshirt. A couple might not now that Rashid is hurt, but at this point, you really got to look for Raiden to step up, especially if Trev's right. I hope that Trev's not right about Amari Evans. But if he is, we need Raiden to play big time minutes and have a big time role in this offense.
Yeah, I'm thinking even though Coach Fish said he's out a couple of weeks. My guess is we won't see him before.
That's coach speak.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see, how deep they get to go, and hopefully we put up another 70 next game, and we can see guys like, Harris and Lawson, and we did see, you know what? Big receiver, 6'4".
Yeah, Robinson.
No, oh my gosh. I do this at least once a show where I'm so tired I forget the kid's name. But
Justice Williams?
Justice Williams. My gosh. Sorry, Justice. I've been waiting for Justice to break out for a couple years now, and he looked like he had something there. He got a little run. They're just really deep, and a lot of these young guys have yet to separate themselves because it's early in their careers, but we've got a lot of different body types right now, and they all bring something new to the table, something different to the table.
It's exciting because I feel like we have one more game, one more cupcake to get a lot of kids ready for the big show the week after that.
I
Another
love that.
cupcake.
One more cupcake.
We got one
Here's
more.
a question,
Yes,
and
sir.
I haven't heard anything about it, but somebody who I thought was going to be heavily involved in the passing game is Kevin Green, and he is yet to log a reception or a carry or anything. I don't know if he's taken a snap yet, but that's a guy that I thought was probably going to be the first guy to start in the slot, and I haven't heard Fish say anything about him. So I guess I'm just curious on if there's an injury there or if these freshmen are just that good.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't really have any complaints about who's playing right now.
It's about right. Okay, so let's finish it out and talk about the offensive line.
Drew as a party is just
It's a Drew as a
again,
party.
Trevor was right. It's a Drew as a party. I'm just this is a great week.
Before you declare you were right about Drew as a party,
I didn't say it. I declared it.
okay. Can we wait until after week 5, please? If we're having a after party, Drew as a party after party after week 5, I will take down my name on this screen and never put it back on. Deal?
So you stop lying.
I'm not lying. Leah said I wasn't lying. If so facto, I'm telling the truth.
Ipso
But-
facto, Leah's never wrong.
Oh,
Ah,
oh, Jake's in between a rock and a hard
I
place
am
now.
in a corner right now.
Oh boy, how you gonna get out of this one, Tiger?
Hey,
On second thought, I'm just
Jared, do you
gonna
want me to hold
stay
that
there.
paintbrush that you painted yourself into the
I'm
corner?
in a corner right now. I am in a corner
Good
right now.
Lord.
And the bad news is I did it to myself. So
You did.
Mm.
All right,
Good night,
offensive
everybody.
I
line,
hate to see
y'all.
it.
Besides
So,
the
let me-
Drew as a party show that we've become.
Let me say this. Once again, we are going against an outmanned opponent, but I thought compared to the Colorado State game, I thought they were pretty assignment sound. The one thing that's been driving me nuts in the short Fish era, Coach Fish, really good offensive coach. We run the shittiest screens I have ever seen this side of the Seahawks. And there was one play where Drew did not do so well. Anytime we run one of those little fast screens and there's a single receiver to that side, it is the tackle's job to go pick off the corner so they can tunnel underneath and get upfield. We have not done that well at all. So my one gripe is our screen game still sucks. And we haven't really needed it to be great yet, but against Ohio State, I want a screen that works. We could probably get away with that in Pullman, hopefully. But screen game still sucks. Linemen aren't doing a great job with timing that up. I don't know what the issue is at practice or maybe it looks good in practice, but that's the one thing. And I think the hardest part for this offensive line is just pass pro when you don't know where your quarterback's going to be sometimes. Like I keep saying, like get the ball out on time. Don't put your tackles in a position where you bail the pocket and they don't know, and then they get a hold and that type of thing. But I thought the lineman, I think it's solid B plus this game.
Um, they just need to put on the tape of 2020 Troy Fautanu Superman diving at the Oregon corner to break that one open. That is one of my favorite offensive lineman plays I've seen maybe ever. He he goes full horizontal to knock him off of his spot to get a big gain going towards I guess not the lakes or whatever way that is. Anyhow, yeah, we'll see how they do against Wazoo, and really, we're not going to be able to grade anything the offensive line does until week 5.
Probably true. But
But
so rounding it
they're
out,
coalescing together, which is important.
absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you guys can attest to this for anybody who's played football that the longer the offensive line is there together, the better they are. So these 2+ weeks together, it only helps to solidify what we're going to need out of them, probably just starting on week 5. So, offensive MVP, is anyone going to disagree with the Big Ten Conference?
No,
Chance.
Drew has a party.
Yeah, I mean, if you argue with Jonah, then you are just being a contrarian. So, yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
this is where you come in, Jake.
As
Oh,
far
contrarian.
as,
Being a contrarian.
nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Not this time.
All right, let's pivot and go to the defense, starting with the defensive line. What did you see that you liked and areas of growth?
Zach Durfee got a sack.
Yeah. Jacob Lane starting the game with a sack was absolutely instrumental to the way that this defense performed the rest of the day. That guy continues to just be maybe my favorite player on this defense. It is good to see Zach Durfee get off the snide and get a sack this year, though. Looking at him, he just looks like a physical freak. And I've always heard that he practices so well. Coach made a great point. He was hurt the majority of last season, so it's hard to just step in and be in game mode. I'm going to keep being patient with Zach Durfee and hope that he ends up being what he was for. Where was he before? Montana State?
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State.
Or
So,
South Dakota? Was it even a state? It was the D3 school that Kalen DeBoer came from.
South Dakota State. Maybe South Dakota, but I don't remember. Not important.
not important.
He's on the hot seat now.
Takario Davis's interception was very, very impressive. It's talking about a Superman dive. Hopefully he's okay. They said a lower rib. He wasn't super worried about it. I thought he just got the wind knocked out of him. But give him a week. Give him the Cougs. He'll be fine. He is... If Ephesians Prysock had better hands, he would have had 2 interceptions on the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is like, it's an FCS school, so like, of course the defensive line kind of dominated up front. But this is kind of a high-powered offense for this league. They're going to be in the mix at the end of their season for a run in the playoff. And Washington's secondary shut down any opportunity that they had to move the ball. The only time they scored a touchdown is with a ton of help from the yellow flags.
Yeah.
You brought up the Prysock dropping 2 interceptions, and I thought, wow, that's really unfortunate that a guy with a clear chance at a ball doesn't take it away like that. And then I watched Tariq Woolen yesterday.
Oh, you dog!
Prysock doesn't seem so bad. I just hope that they're getting Tariq the help that he needs with his gambling addiction, because there's no way that he wasn't point shaving yesterday. So screw you, Tariq, and I hope that you burn in hell.
My God!
Was he in your fantasy league, coach?
No, he's a corner. So I mean, I don't really, I don't sound dudes, but I just think that there's no excuse for not taking both of those passes away on the game-winning drive, and you let Brock Purdy be a freaking hero in your home stadium. Shout out to Reek. I'm on to you. I'm on to you.
Which is still in a lot of pain right now, you guys. Thoughts and prayers.
Etienne's reaction when he dropped that second should have been interception was priceless. Just hands up. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. He'll get those. He'll pick it up next time. I'm not too worried about him. Maybe the light got in the way. Maybe he's just got bad hands and he plays corner for a reason. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But, corners didn't really have that many moments to shine. So maybe he was just cold,
Could have been.
Hands are cold.
It was nice to see. One of the things that I've heard Arizona keyboard warriors talk about Tacario Davis phoning it in the second half of the season, giving up on the team and stuff like that. I saw him get himself very stingy in the run game as well. So, like, things are looking good against a team like this. Washington State doesn't necessarily have the athletes to compete with Washington on the outside either. So, like, I think it could be another situation where hopefully Ephesians has maybe some hand warmers to keep his hands warm to take away a couple of Coug interceptions.
That'd be great.
Tacario is going into the draft this year, and he could slide into a Reek spot real easy.
That mean the Seahawks would have to draft a Husky high, and they seem to not like to do that.
No, John Snyder, go to hell for never drafting.
Yeah, it's funny because last time they had a really good Washington player on their team, they won the Super Bowl. So
interesting.
Maybe they should do that again. It is weird. Go Bucks, Falcons, and pretty much everybody else.
Absolutely. Did we talk about the defensive line besides Jacob Lane? Kind of moved around a little
They
bit.
dominated.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then
right.
Edge.
We just went. Did I derail that and take us into the
the
second?
entire conversation.
Trevor was right,
Classic
and he's a
Trevor.
loose cannon. Now that
He
I'm
really
not the
is.
host,
Right?
When do you
Wild
start
card.
talking about UCLA in this podcast?
Right? I don't think
the
Trevor
thing
wants to
about
believe that UCLA exists at this point. Let's just be totally real about that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to apply for that job here coming in November.
Part of your NIL that you paid to UCLA is going towards that god-awful quarterback, so congratulations.
No, actually, all of mine's going to blue up the uniforms just a little bit more.
Believable. So, Edge. Zach Durfee, as Jake mentioned already, got his first sack.
Yeah, I'm kind of coming around to the idea of this isn't a scheme fit for him, and all the stuff they have him do, standing up and
A
then
lot of standing up.
dropping into coverage, and it's sort of like, I don't think that's his thing. I think that his best football would be in a 3-point stance as a base end, and then come around the corner and creating havoc. Like, I feel like there's too much freedom out there and then maybe you kind of lose an edge here and there. But I think, like, if he were in in a 4-3 or a 4-2-5 or whatever, I think that would be a better fit for him. The sad thing is, like, this is the system he's in, and this is last year, so he's got to make the adjustment of playing in space.
Anything else to say about Edge?
Keep on
Linebackers.
Jacob Lane,
How
man.
did we do this week in linebacking?
Better than last week.
Take much.
Yeah, last week was rough. There's really nothing to nitpick this week. I mean, you won by 60, so
I am happy to see Tariq lead the team in tackles. I would much rather see that than see safeties lead the team in tackles. So, I mean, that's a plus for me. Outside of the obvious, our defense played really, really well against an inferior opponent.
Absolutely. That's always a good thing, especially when you have a team that I think we're overall a pretty young veteran club, and that's susceptible to a yo-yo game, especially when the house is not packed. It's an FCS opponent, so you have that tendency towards potentially playing down to your opponent, and that did not happen on Saturday.
Yeah, shout out Joe McHale bringing up Montana on the broadcast.
Yeah, that was not cool,
Yeah.
Joel.
like Joel has obviously had a few beverages.
Yeah, he
on the
was.
sideline. A couple actors just hanging out on the sideline and having a nice time at a college event.
What's it going to take to get Rainn Wilson down there? Let's just put it out right now.
He's a
Yeah.
Seahawks guy.
Yeah, he also went to the University of Washington.
I wouldn't hate that.
I would love it so
Dream
much.
guest.
He would actually like we could get him to do a bit where like, he pretends to hype up Oregon and then ends it with false. I hate them, right? All right. Back to the Huskies. We already talked a little bit about defensive backs, but is there anything else that we need to say about that?
Angles at
All we
safety.
need. Go ahead, Coach. I didn't hear you.
Angles at safety. If we're going to put our guys in run fits from deep safety and they've got a two-way go, they've got to make better decisions coming up on the ball. Just our defensive system and our defensive front, it kind of like puts a lot of pressure on those guys to stay in coverage and then fill in the run game. And, I'm not picking on Mikel. He had one play where it was just like, ooh, that was rough. And then he'll make another play here and there. Like, he had that last week where he kind of struggled a little bit and then came up with that big interception. So it's a learning process. He has played in a completely different defense most of his, career. So just those guys are under a lot of pressure. I think McLaughlin is really kind of taken to it pretty easily. I think you're seeing guys like Clark sort of, find their way, not necessarily at the safety position, but just, taking those angles. If you're playing in the middle of the field in the slot or from up high, you've got to be able to, make those plays because the rest of the defense is counting on you.
Caden Pinnock, 50% completion percentage, 50 yards, 3.1 yards an attempt. Grant Harper came in at the beginning of the second half, 3 of 8 for 39 yards. They did fine.
We
Absolutely.
got to do better.
Yeah. Trainer Cleveland, 2 for 3, 26 yards.
Yeah.
Nice job, kid.
He should have started,
Defensive
honestly.
MVP?
Huh?
Defensive MVP.
Takario Davis.
He only played for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, the best 10 minutes.
I'm going to say Jacob Lane. I'm going to steal it. Sorry,
Jake's
Jake.
pissed.
Sorry, Jake. But you know what? Leah's never wrong. So there you go. Um, that's never going to die now.
I hate this
Um,
corner.
you hate it so
I
much.
hate this corner. Trevor's mad at me for calling him Tariq, but I will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I know. I don't care what he goes by. I'm going to call him by his God-given name.
Oh, jeez.
It's him. It's him, defensive player of the game.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. I'm going to say Ephesians Prysock because if he makes those two interceptions, the score gets out of hand quicker. We don't get to see as much of those offensive guys. We might not get to 70. They might just, from the jump in the second half, just throw the backups in, and then we might only score 56. 64. I mean, it really could have affected the outcome of the game. So
We love it. So, what were the things that we can take that we've done against UC Davis and go into our bye week, and then as we prepare for Washington State in about a week and a half?
Continue to work on the cohesion on the offensive line. Continue to figure out what edge play looks like, whether or not how are you going to get pressure on the quarterback, but more importantly, how are you going to stay disciplined against all of these elite running backs in the conference by setting the edge and being disciplined there.
Wow, way to leave a whole lot for the rest of us, Trev.
Also, Takario Davis needs to be healthy.
Yeah, there you go. Keep going. Keep going. Come on.
His
Come on.
name's Buddha Alukta. Please call him by his real name.
Nope. It's Big Ten football. You got to win in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Those are the two places that I would really, really like to see this team start to really excel at. If we plan on hitting our goals as far as our win losses, everybody in this chat, this podcast, our offensive and defensive line need to really, really play a lot better. It's not been bad, but it's Big Ten football.
there is a glaring hole on this team right now, and not a lot of people are talking about it. And it's one of those things that can absolutely rock your season if we don't get it taken care of soon. Make up your frickin' mind about the kickoffs. Stop experimenting with short kicks. You have the ability to boot it through the end zone every single time. Stop messing around. Kick it through the dang end zone.
We're paying a kid's tuition to just kick it as hard as and far as he can.
Let's see what happens if we kick it 5 yards short. Oh, look, it's at the 50 again. My God.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's one of Coach's trigger points. Yeah, I think
Special teams.
yeah, this is the strength of our season. Um, I think just rest, getting our bodies right for Washington State because this is the last opportunity to rest for quite some time, and we go right into the big boys, quite literally, right after the Cougs, which is our final cupcake of the season. And yes, I've said that several times, and I'm right every time. So,
Just
yeah,
Jeff
I
ask.
said
think
it.
we we need to stay healthy, and thoughts and prayers go out to Rashid. Hopefully that he can come back sooner rather than later. But that was a great catch, and a shame that he went down so quickly. But yeah, that was a great game to watch. Despite it being an 8 o'clock kick, and despite it being UC Davis, the crowd was really loud. Shout out Band Day. Those kids who were in the stadium were making noise, starting cheers. It's kind of annoying. It's not a great halftime show, but it's a tradition, and those kids actually come and they're really happy to be there. So, what did you think about the atmosphere, Jakey?
I enjoyed it, and I mean, personal sentiment there. My cousin, actually my wife's cousin, which is now my cousin, was a part of the Stanwood dance team that was out on the field during halftime. So that's a cool experience to get to witness that as a fan, as a relative. Um, but I I was pleasantly surprised for it being UC Davis. Boy, did it empty out fast. Goodness gracious! Halfway through the third quarter, we went to go get a pretzel because I needed, to soak the water that I had been drinking all night,
You were too
and
hydrated. I knew
I
it.
needed to get a little bit more
Yeah,
hydrated.
he had to walk all the way to the car without using the bathroom.
And
That's a big deal.
it was a mass exodus, and that was a little bit surprising, but not.
But not
I, I
because we're gonna.
texted the guy who seats are next to mine, and I'm like, "You guys stay to the end?" And he goes, "God, no, we tried, but they bailed like late in the fourth, like midway through the fourth quarter. They're like, we got to go home."
There was so many scores that the game took an obscene amount of time because of all like the TV timeouts after
Yep.
scores.
Yeah.
What time
I
did you
mean,
get
I,
home?
I admittedly left in the middle of the third quarter, and we didn't get home until midnight. And I live in Kirkland. I don't live very far from the stadium,
We
so
we left halfway through the fourth. Went to Dick's Drive-In,
of course,
Obviously.
because yeah,
that's how you do
and
it.
and didn't get home until like 1:30.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it
not
was it was a late
surprised.
it was a late one.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, the kickoff for the Ohio State game has not been announced yet. I'm really hoping for a 12:30 kick.
I thought it was gonna be 12:30. I thought
They
like
have not
almost.
announced it.
Huh.
There's a lot of really good football games on that day. We are not by any stretch of the imagination the only game being played. Of course, we're playing number one, so they should be given some sort of a priority. But I'm really hoping for the 12:30 versus the 3:34 slot. I know Oregon and Penn State are playing at 4:30, and also Alabama, Georgia's playing. So it's a full gauntlet of football. And the scheduling gods did not look at that intensely because there's like I want to say 6 games that are being played that day that are absolutely amazing and must see TV. So
Yeah, you're not getting game day that week.
no,
I bet
I
you
bet it's going to go to Georgia.
it'll
Gosh,
probably go
to watch a
Georgia.
40-point loss for Alabama, though, like put that one at
Yeah.
9 a.m. because Georgia's gonna beat the brakes off of
Well,
Alabama.
I mean, they're not gonna put us in there since we're unranked, and
What receiving votes?
Penn
Are we
State,
even receiving votes?
Oregon, we're not receiving votes. Penn
No,
State, Oregon might be the one.
it's at 4:30.
I know, but they can still get game day
Uh,
there.
That's true.
but
It
they
might
went to
be.
game day. They went to game day last week in Norman, and that was 4:30.
Yeah, game day, the whatever time the game starts doesn't really
No,
matter.
it doesn't matter. I think that it'll probably either be in Georgia or in Happy Valley. I think everybody's right about that. It's definitely not coming soon.
Or can you wet your whistle to Ole Miss LSU?
Maybe.
It would be a break from the
Yep.
Bama
And
Georgia.
everybody loves Lane Kiffin now.
so
I
weird.
could
Yeah,
get
he's not
behind it.
Brian
The
Kelly.
guy got the guy
Yes.
got tarmacked.
Yeah.
I,
And
I think
it
that
it's
was
was
the
tarmac
best
or
thing that
bust.
ever
that was
happened
left
to
in
him.
USC, my friend. That tarmac is still in Southern California.
Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
man. Well,
Uh,
we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick here, and we're gonna take a break. We'll be back in your ears next week to preview the Washington State game, which, gosh, like hopefully that should be an unholy massacre, and we'll take that piece of hardware back. What do you guys think?
I mean, 70 should be the goal.
I do not travel for losses.
Are you going to the game?
Me and Trev.
Well, Jake, we
And the
can't have you start.
dads.
We're gonna cuddle in my camper, and I am excited.
Are you Big Spoon or
And
Little
then they're
Spoon?
going to go to the game.
You know,
You know
I
that's what
I
it is.
enjoy being Little Spoon, but Trev snores like a son of a bitch.
That's
If you don't bring
that's not true.
that is true. You kept me up all last time and fucking
Guys, we
where were
don't.
we?
No more
Corvallis,
lover squirrels on air.
pissing me off. If you don't bring your CPAP machine this time, I swear to God you're sleeping outside. You and the generator can snore next to each other because that shit was loud.
Wow.
This guy claims he doesn't snore, but I've heard elephants that snore quieter than this guy. It's unreal.
Jake, you've already had your one win versus the on the Price is Right. I don't think that one's going to be a win for you.
Yeah, you better
We can
bring
call
that
in
CPAP.
Miranda as the phone a friend on that. So
I just
Yeah,
want.
I'm
I
gonna
want
call it
everybody
like
to notice
shoot a
that.
pack for Trev.
I want everybody to notice that my screen name has shifted to reflect reflect your guys' sleeping arrangements on the road.
It's
My
my
goodness.
camper.
At least
It's my camper. I get to choose big
Yep.
or little.
them's the rules.
That's
well,
Your gun is digging into my hip.
we're getting punchy. It's past 10 o'clock here on a
Let's
Monday
go, man.
night. So we're going to wrap up the podcast and we will see you back here in a week. Don't forget to check us out on Fourth and Inches, a Husky podcast /J3X, if I'm not mistaken, Trev.
Yeah.
And go ahead and give us a listen and a watch. But so we will see you next week. So for Coach V, Jakey, Trevor Mueller, I'm UW Leah. Let's go hang another 70 burger up in Pullman next week and take back the trophy. Go Dogs.
Shout out Elvis. Go Dogs.
Shout out Jacob.
Go Dogs.
Shout out Tariq Woolen.
Oh my